Welcome to ESGN TV. Tonight we talk about some of the news in League of Legends. What did Riot say in their AMA? Susie Kim sits down with Blitz from TeamZephyr to talk about his journeys in Korea. And Trump gives his 2 cents on the upcoming Hearthstone patch. All this and more. It's time for the Daily News. Hello from Studio 1 in Babelsberg. Dan Cho reporting in for another exciting day of esports. Tonight is January 14th, and on this day 1 year ago, the Russian team Moscow 5 became known as Gambit Gaming. They then went on to win IM Katowice and Cologne last year while having multiple top 4 finishes. Also, today is Dave Grohl's birthday, the lead vocalist, songwriter, and founder of the Foo Fighters. Happy birthday, dude. So, as LCS is already underway as we speak, why don't you pull up another tab or browser, twitch.tv/Riot Games. Today will be the big debut to see which European team made the right moves and who will start the climb to the top of Season 4. This evening will also be the debut of Super Hot Crew, who got the spot after defeating MYM in a best-of-3. The community is still in disbelief of how NIP was disqualified from their last chance to enter LCS due to ZoroZero not logging on to the tournament realm on time. Zoro has since posted on his personal Facebook fan page an apology for the situation and explaining his perspective. He said, quote, "This is not on the team's shoulder, this is only on mine. I was sad because my actions hit some of my friends, the organization I'm working for, and all the fans that are supporting us. Now there's nothing to then just look back and accept what happened is what happened. We will be playing in Cloak League, and I promise you we are coming back stronger than ever. We wish the best to NIP as they have made it clear they want this incident behind them." Ultimately, this has not dissuaded ZoroZero from leaving NIP, like his teammate Deficio, who announced yesterday to leave the organization and joins the LCS casting team. His casting career begins tonight and the kickoff EU LCS with D-Man, Quickshot, and the gang. He's also changed his Twitter handle to Deficio LOL, so you can follow all of his updates on Facebook and Twitter. In honor of LCS beginning tonight, the Riot esports team conducted an AMA on Reddit yesterday. Here are some of the highlighted answers. Waylon Roselle talked about the new MVP features to the circuit. He said, "We are going to have a weekly MVP for NA LCS and the EU LCS. Each split will also have an MVP selected by journalists, coaches, casters, etc., the industry insiders. Lastly, we're also adding an MVP to the Worlds this year." That sounds very exciting. Nick Allen also commented on the thread stating Riot's intention to remove buys in the World Championships. Also, a question on the recent controversies of banning ELO boosters who were part of Challenger League answered as well. They said, quote, "The ELO boost bans actually came out after the ladder freeze and the roster confirmation. No team was DQ'd from Challenger because of a single player's ELO boost ban. Teams simply needed to maintain 3 players from their ladder freeze roster." All in all, the most important points can be seen in this graphic on your screen. In addition to more stats, real-time stats that is, going to be happening as they are under development in LCS. Now, the last question that they answered, the one about ELO boosting, was an answer to how on earlier January 11th, Riot unleashed a wave of bans on these boosters, which is a term for people who are paid to level another person's account. The bans effectively removed Challenger team leagues, including NA ranked 12 team God Bless Us All, with the suspension of team captain 408. Now, this does not delay the Coke Zero Challenger League at all, as they will begin the bracket play this Friday, January 17th for North America, and next Tuesday, January 21st for EU. Good luck to all the aspiring teams, as the competition will be fierce with squads like Eyes on You and Curse Academy. For more information, head over to lolesports.com. Now, the Coke Zero Challenger League is not the only one that's Riot's bolstering the amateur competition this season. Last week, Jaws announced that Riot will be partnering with Ivy Law, NACL, and CSL to create the North American Collegiate Open. Registration lasts from January 6th to January 22nd. Teams must attend the same college or university to be eligible to compete for part of the $100,000 scholarship prize. The finals will be taking place at the LCS stage in Manhattan Beach on February 22nd to 23rd, which will be broadcasted live. For more information on how to sign up, check out collegiatelol.com. And with all this preparation for Season 4, it's only a matter of time before patch 4.1 comes upon us. Riot has announced that January 15th at 3:30 in the morning to be the server's maintenance hour in preparation for the upcoming big patch. Games in progress won't count, so make sure to get all the IP and LP you can before the shutdown. And lastly, if you were wondering if there was more to League of Legends Pro scene than what Riot puts on, you're absolutely correct. A few days ago, the SCAN Invitational, which was organized by SCAN and Dignitas, concluded as 8 invited teams in a single elimination bracket took place on January 11th to 12th. Let's see the highlights.
They just trying to chunk down the Nexus turret. Yuki has dropped JWoww in a bad way, and this will be the second Nexus turret falling, and the first game will go to Cloud9 in this best of 5 series.
What a game to begin our best of 5 between Cloud9 and Team LOL, which
have found himself Forbidden. He's used the intervention. Yuki is already out. Morden this time initiates, and there's no intervention to save him. Duane is already there. JWoww jumps onto John, but he has kited him away. The culling has come down. There is so much peeling potential, but he's still not dead. There we go. Darren has jumped to the back line, and everyone evaporates. 5 seconds on Forbidden. The second Nexus turret falls. Adamne is actually uses Dragon Descent. It's not going to be enough. It drops everyone very low. Forbidden arrives, but that, as you called it, will be the first win from Team Triple LOL.
With a lower lead than he has now, but here comes the fight.
Morden just jumping in initially. Gragas Bow will land onto 2. Ocelot drops so low. There's 1. He has been intervention, and this he is dropping so low. He's dropping everyone. Morden will fall. Odame will fall, and now he's just diving the double Nexus turrets. Maybe that was a little too ham, but they are going to take the inhibitor.
Who throws up the XDs into chat to make light of the situation, but that is just Kha'Zix to a point. There was a lot of jumping around in that fight with the assault and battery, and the jumps from Kha'Zix. It's a little difficult to see what was going on, but Yuki is not going to be able to stop this push. It's a surrender vote at 27 minutes into the game. They might kick off an engagement.
They're going to try this collapse, and Forbidden lands a huge wind slash onto Yuki, drops him low. Q is chasing down Lee Sin. Adame nukes down Yuki as he's on the retreat. Diode is just going to walk back into them and make sure he can try and use his sadism, but more importantly, there's a fight onto Diode and the rest of his team. 1 drops. There's the assault and battery onto Ocelot, who jumps onto Forbidden, trying to just take down that huge damage threat. Keepers comes down. Morden will surely be the next one to fall into Yuki, and the last one to survive is JWoww. That's going to be the GG called by Ocelot. He will pick up the shutdown, in fact, and the double kill for Q. And GG's all around as the Nexus falls. That's the surrender, and now will be Cloud9 taking this 3-1 in this best of 5 series for the SCAN EU West Winter Invitation.
Cloud9 Europe dominated the whole tournament and defeats fan favorites LOL Ocelot's new team by a score of 3-1 in the finals to win £1,500. I like Triple LOL. I think I'm going to say it from now on. Congrats to the new Cloud9 HyperX team. Looks like they're slowly growing into the name of Cloud9, but they still have big shoes to fill. Coming up after the break, Susie meets up with Blitz to talk about his adventures in Seoul, and we talk about what's happening in the rest of the Dota 2 universe. The Daily News will be right back. And welcome back, everybody, to the Daily News. Yesterday, we had a quick peek with our Korean correspondent, Susie Kim, into the Nexon Sponsorship League, which is currently in Season 3. Earlier last week, she had a chance to catch up with Blitz, the captain from TeamZephyr, to discuss about his thoughts on Dota 2 and his time in Korea. Take a look.
Hi, this is Susie Kim with ESGN TV, and today I have a chance to interview William Lee, otherwise known as Blitz. Hey Blitz, should I call you Blitz? Should I call you William?
Nobody really calls me William.
All right, I'll just call you Blitz then.
All right.
Blitz, so can you kind of introduce yourself, tell us who you are, and what do you do?
I'm Blitz. I play Dota for a living. I play solo mid for TeamZephyr currently, and I'm in Korea currently participating in Season 3 of NSL.
Okay, what are your thoughts on the development of the Dota 2 scene?
I remember in Dota 1, people used to just play for pride, and there was no money on the line. You barely could make anything. We used to host a tournament for like pizza. That was like the main prize, and people played in that and tried their hardest. And it's kind of great to see now that we could potentially win $60,000 playing in a 1-month tournament. Going from pizza to that is kind of ridiculous.
Pizza is pretty good though.
I mean, yeah, Domino's, but it's just kind of a great step up, and I think the scene is developing really nicely. The fans have been absolutely great. Obviously, Dota wouldn't exist if there weren't a lot of people watching. And I think the way that Valve is taking it, in terms of the way that they've run the International, with the compendium, adding a prize pool, letting people get involved, I think that's pretty much unprecedented. It's fantastic from a fan point of view.
Then I know Dota's growing as a bigger esport, but what do you think of esports on the whole? Just what do you think is the next step for esports to take?
I think that there's a lot of talk about going mainstream, but I think that's a little bit too quick, because I think, okay, for example, for a game like StarCraft or a game like Dota even, I think there's actually not a lot of people that play the game that actually watch it, right? It's like a really small percentage of players, because I think there are something like 6 million unique accounts on Dota. You don't quote me on that, but
okay.
I mean, if we even got a third of that, like the viewership would be unprecedented. We'd be getting television-like numbers, right? So I think focusing on our own backyards, making sure that people that play Dota are actually watching Dota, or people that play whatever game it is, that they're actually actively tuning in. I think that's the first goal that people should really look at. I think the whole, we need to push for mainstream, get on ESPN and TV shows and all that, I think that's an overrated concept that doesn't really make sense, because it's going to be a lot easier for me to explain to you, who's already involved in esports, hey, come take a look at this game, rather than my sister who knows nothing about Dota or StarCraft or League of Legends and saying like, hey, check this out, this will be fantastic for you to watch.
All right, well, thank you so much for your time. Do you have any final words that you want to say to your fans?
Thanks for everybody that supports me. It means a lot. I know that there are plenty more talented players out there that you could be supporting, but thanks for cheering for everybody on our team. Thanks everybody for the really kind messages that you left. I really don't think I could have made this jump if I didn't think that people were going to support me. And so it was pretty fantastic to see that. And thank you to my girlfriend, Craig, for always being there.
Well, that'll be it for us today then. And this has been Susie Kim with ESGN TV.
Thanks so much for the cozy interview, Susie. Follow her on Twitter at Little Susie to follow her adventures in Korea. Susie also interviewed Blitz's teammate Purge, and we'll be airing that interview probably later this week. Good luck to TeamZephyr as, well, let's check in on what they happened. Wrapping up the NASL news, Zephyr's matches in the quarterfinals were rather one-sided, but the highlight of the match wasn't only Blitz's 16-0-5 performance on Storm Spirit, it was Blitz accidentally picking Bloodseeker in the second match when trying to scroll for another hero. Now, TeamZephyr has to face up against MVP Hot 6 in the upper bracket semifinals, who 2-0'd EOT drilled later today. The match up is finals material, so Susie will keep a close eye and reporting on all the action happening over at the GOM TV studios. But let's take a look at the results overall. As you can see, TeamZephyr will end up sweeping their opponent in MVP Hot 6. Speaking of GOM TV, they also have tomorrow night their Group A for GSL Code A starting up once again. Don't miss it. Check it all at gomexp.com. And while League of Legends and StarCraft 2 Pro Circuits are firing up the engines to get going, Dota 2 tournaments just keep rolling on out. Tomorrow, the Alliance will face off against Speed Gaming International for the Dota 2 Champions League. Speed Gaming has been putting on a strong performance recently, topping their wins at MLG Columbus event. Led by longtime veterans like Sama and Sing Sing, Speed Gaming now has defeated several noteworthy teams, including DK and Na'Vi. Will Alliance be the next to fall? Find out tomorrow starting at 1800 CET at d2cl.org. Now, Alliance's schedule doesn't ease up then, as Starladder Season 8 Finals is also this weekend, where they'll be playing up against Fnatic in the semifinal. The other will feature Na'Vi playing up against Sigma International, the surprise team who tied for the first seed in the league. The action begins January 17th. Catch it all at starladder.tv and click on the Dota 2 section. Now, last week, the ESPL was announced as a year-long Pro-Am league and tournament organized by Eat, Sleep, Play. The league starts this Saturday, January 18th, and continues all the way until December 28th. From now until December, ESPL will have 36 weekly tournaments held almost every week until the end of the year, with unlimited signups, featuring a prize pool of almost $24,000 as well as 50% revenue from in-game tickets. ESPL is a great venture for the amateur and semi-pro scene of Dota 2. There are some invited teams like Fnatic vs. Pro, Speed Gaming, TL, and EG, but if you want all the information, head over to esp.gg. Tonight we have a treat for some old-school fans of Dota who are also Warcraft 3 players. There are few legendary Warcraft 3 players that have paved the road for the explosion of true esports superstars. Our partners at Gamefy were able to interview these legends. Check it out.
大家好，我是来自 WE 战队的 Sky 李晓峰。这个马年马上也是要到临了，那祝大家马到成功，新年快乐。不知不觉随着这个马年到来的时候，打魔兽3差不多也10年了。这10年来呢，我很感谢《魔兽争霸3》这款游戏带给了我很多不一样的东西，也是我如果我没有走这样一条道路，可能我就经历不到的一些东西。比如说去过世界上很多地方去参加一些比赛，认识了很多《魔兽争霸3》的一些对手、队友以及朋友，比如说像莫恩、寡比这样的对手，等等等等等等，太多的精彩的东西也是通过《魔兽争霸3》给予的我。虽说这10年马上要过了，但是我也开始为自己的这个后面的10年去做准备了。可能想不了那么远，但是在明年的这个时候呢，我肯定可能会把更多的精力放在了 WE 战队的管理上和 WE 战队的，也就是说电子竞技俱乐部的这个发展和管理上吧。现在的话，我更希望的是能够做好。我现在的这个所在的 WE 的俱乐部，希望我们的俱乐部能够培养出来更多像在《魔兽争霸3》时期时候像我这样一样的，像 Sky 这样一样的这样的更比 Sky 更加知名的电子竞技选手。总之无论是《魔兽争霸3》还是电子竞技这条道路，我都认为这是一条很精彩的道路。我希望每位为电子竞技在努力在工作的朋友们，希望你们都能够得到好运，同时我也希望电子竞技能够发展得越来越好。
Hello， 大家新年快乐！我是 Fly， 然后很久没见了，在这里也是预祝大家新的一年里吉祥如意，马到成功，身体健康。不知不觉中，《魔兽争霸3》已经走过了它第10个年头。我想对于很多人来讲，它已经不仅仅是一款普通的游戏，对于我来说，它已经成为了我生活中的一部分。虽然说现在的比赛没有像以前巅峰的时候那么多，但是还是希望能够在新的一年里，大家还能够快乐的看比赛，然后能够闲聊的时候、闲暇的时候，大家切磋一下。
大家好，我是 Ted， 祝大家新年快乐。在过去的10年里，魔兽带给了我很多，不光是我的爱情，更多的是一个事业。当然，像我这个年纪的，经历过那么多事情也是比较少，所以说我觉得魔兽给我带来的是一个人生的一个改变。在今年和明年的话，我应该会从一个选手转型到一个解说或者是一个幕后的一些工作吧，然后想让自己就是轻松一些。当然我们说的轻松不代表没有压力，是吧？压力山大，但是还是激情无限吧。
Well, that was definitely a heart-warming message, especially because these players have given us so much good memories. Good luck, Sky, Fly, and Ted, and everything you guys do. Thanks again to Gamefy, remembering that the finals of their G League is coming up on the 18th between We Academy and Young Glory, and 19th, the finals between IG and DK. You can find all of Gamefy's content and broadcasts at gamefy.cn. When we return, we talk to Trump about the upcoming Hearthstone patch and finish the day with StarCraft 2 updates. You're watching the Daily News with Frodan. See you soon.
We will win.
Tune in tonight for Season 2, Episode 2 of Hearthstone Fight Night, featuring Team Doggy House and Praise Ragnaros. Yesterday, Artosis clutched it versus Trump in an exhilarating series and wins it 3-2. Find out if Doggy House will continue their momentum, or will Praise Ragnaros make a comeback.
You should watch out.
Welcome back to the desk. Speaking of Hearthstone, Blizzard announced yesterday that a new balance patch will be released soon, hitting both class-specific and neutral cards with nerf bats. There'll be lots of tweaks, but here are a few of the important ones. Pyroblast will now be 10 mana up from 8. And Blood Imp has been completely reworked as an act kind of like a 0/1 Young Priestess. Charge now gives +2 attack, but now costs 3 mana in an effort to hedge off OTK warriors. And Novice Engineer is now on 1/1 instead of 1/2. The forums have been fiercely discussing the changes, but earlier today I got an opportunity to sit down with Trump to fish his thoughts on the patch. I'm joined by Jeffrey Trump Shee to give us some thoughts about the upcoming Hearthstone balance patch. Trump, I want to talk to you first. What do you think were some of the biggest changes? There's lots of tweaks to things like Unleash the Hounds, Pyroblast, and Blood Imps. What's your opinion?
I think the biggest change is the change to the Warriors, the Charge and the Warsong Commander, since that basically kills an entire line of decks that was coming out from the Warrior.
And then what do you think this does to some of the classes? Is Warrior not really viable at this point then?
Well, Warrior certainly will have to be played very differently now. I think there may still be a chance for Warrior, though. They've still got a lot of good tools for their class.
I definitely think so, but part of it was because of the way you would play Control Warrior, and it seems like some of these other control cards have been taken out as well, or not taken out, excuse me. Some of these control cards have also been tweaked, Novice Engineer and Sylvanas. Do you have any opinion on that?
I think the Sylvanas nerf was well needed. It's still probably a good card. Novice Engineer is something less obvious, but I also think was well needed. There's actually a really good discussion on it and all the strategy parts, but it's basically running all the control decks, some of the aggro decks. It needed to be taken down a notch, even though it's not very obvious to see that.
Do you feel like there's any other opportunities that Blizzard missed in terms of changing any card or class dynamics?
One thing that I, as an arena player, consider is that some of the area of effect, notably Flame Strike, could have been changed to rarities. Like, say that was changed to rare, then you would see less of it in Flame Strike, and it doesn't affect Constructed that much. So that would have been nice.
That would have been nice for me too, as I definitely ran into Flame Strike a few more times than I like to. Trump, I also want to ask about Druid class in general. It seems like that's been at the top of the metagame, but it remains untouched pretty much from this patch. In fact, it might have gotten buffed based off some of the other cards getting nerfed. Do you think Druid needs a touch at all, or was it just okay how it is?
Funny how you should mention that. I've been quoted by saying, "All hail our new Druid overlords." I think that Druid is the deck to beat in terms of control right now.
All right, well, thank you so much, Trump, for that insight. Do you have any last comments and words about this patch or overall to your fans?
Overall, it's a good patch, and I think that's pretty much the last thing, as they've stated, like the last major thing they're doing. So I look forward to seeing the release of the game.
All right, well, I look forward to seeing how Trump's going to do with this new patch on his Twitch channel, twitch.tv/TrumpSC. Thanks, Jeffrey, for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
Love me some Trump. Thanks again for stopping by. Definitely give his channel some love at the Twitch like we mentioned, and his YouTube channel, TrumpSC, where he posts condensed arena runs, which are fun and time efficient. Myself? Well, I try to watch one before I go to bed every night. Last night was the conclusion of WCS America Challenger League qualifiers. NASL rescheduled this tournament after an administrative disaster shut down the wildcard qualifier last week. Now, this wildcard qualifier meant anybody could sign up. The winners were 2 Canadians in Desro and Jig, 1 Chinese player, Ai Asonu, and 2 Korean players, Bomber and Czech. Also, a quick shout out to Jon Snow, who came 1 game short versus Czech to qualify. The Challenger League participants are now set. Each player will face off against a Premier or Challenger League player from the previous season in a best of 5. The winner of that one series will move to Premier League Season 1. For more information on the broadcast schedule of WCS America, head over to nasl.tv. And as we said yesterday, Europe also has their Challenger League set, but not everything was 100% ready to go quite yet. With Duckdeok's retirement a few weeks ago and Lucifron's return to schooling, ESL reported this morning that Incredible Miracles MVP, the 2013 EU Season 1 winner, will take the Premier League spot. They give the 2 open positions in Challenger League then to Revolver and Strinter N, the 7th and 8th place finishers in the previous qualifier. ESL will begin their WCS broadcast next Tuesday, the 21st, at 1800 CET. Find all the information at their broadcast website, esl.tv. Now, with the rise of new players coming up in every region, like Xenocider in NA, Hero Marine in EU, and Sora in Korea, so too comes the inevitable passing of the old guard. Earlier this morning, Liquid Zenio has announced his retirement from StarCraft 2. As a long-standing member of Code S in the early days of GSL and his rivalry with Idra, Zenio established himself as a hard-working, high-level Zerg for many years, but unfortunately unable to produce results based off his practice. Good luck, Zenio, in your future endeavors, and we wish you the best. With Zenio gone, does this mean Team Liquid will find another replacement for Zenio? Well, whatever happens, we'll be sure to let you know. For more info on everything Team Liquid on their teams, go to teamliquidpro.com. And finally, our community spotlight of the night is Darren Geers for his awesome fan arts, including Jinx from League of Legends, Queen of Pain from Dota 2, and Jaedong on his Zerg throne with his Kerrigans. Settle down, lady. There's plenty of dong for everybody. Before we send you off, let's look at the 5-day forecast. Starting on tomorrow, GSL Code A resumes, like we mentioned. You can check it out at gamexp.com. On Thursday, we've been saying it all week, Esports Venture Cup hosted by Caldor and Take TV. Definitely give those guys a quick shout out. On Friday, NALCS finally begins with TSM versus Cloud9. Oh, baby. Twitch.tv/Riot Games. On Saturday, we have Nation Wars between the European countries hosted by ogaming.tv. And Sunday, we also have the G League Dota 2 finals between Invictus Gaming and Team DK. So that's a wrap from the Daily News. From Dan Cho and the rest of the crew here at ESGN TV, thanks for watching. Fight Night is coming up next.